gate of the wrestling arena, they saw a big elephant of the name Kuvalayapita being tended by a caretaker riding on its head. The caretaker was deliberately blocking their entrance by keeping the elephant in front of the gateway. Krishna could understand the purpose of the caretaker, and he prepared himself by tightening his clothes before combating the elephant. He addressed the caretaker in a very grave voice, as resounding as a cloud. You miscreant caretaker, give way and let me pass through the gate. If you block my way, I shall send you and your elephant to the house of death personified. The caretaker, being thus insulted by Krishna, became very angry, and in order to challenge Krishna, was previously as was previously planned, he provoked the elephant to attack. The elephant then moved before Krishna like inevitable death. It rushed towards him and tried to catch him with his trunk. But Krishna very dexterously moved behind the elephant, being able to see only to the end of its trunk. The elephant could not see Krishna hiding behind its legs, but it tries to capture him with its trunk. Krishna again very quickly escaped capture, and he again ran behind the elephant and caught its tail. Holding the elephant by its tail, Krishna began to pull it, and with a very great strength, he dragged it for at least 25 yards, just as Garuda drags an insignificant snake. Krishna pulled the elephant from the side to that, from right to left, just as he used to pull a calf by its tail in his childhood. After this, Krishna went in front of the elephant and gave it a strong slap. He then slipped away from the elephant's view and ran to its back. Then, falling down on the ground, Krishna placed himself in front of the elephant's two legs and caused it to trip and fall. Krishna immediately got up, but the elephant, thinking that he was still lying down, tried to push the ivory tusk through the body of Krishna by forcibly stabbing it into the ground. Although the elephant was harassed and angry, the caretaker riding on its head tried to provoke it further. The elephant then rushed madly towards Krishna. As soon as it came within the reach, Krishna caught hold of the trunk and pulled the elephant down. Then the elephant and the caretaker fell. Krishna jumped up on the elephant, broke off one of its tusks, and with its killed the elephant and the caretaker also. After killing the elephant, Krishna took the ivory tusk on his shoulder, decorated with drops of perspiration and sprinkled with the blood of the elephant. He looked very beautiful, and thus he proceeded towards the wrestling arena. Lord Balram took the other tusk of the elephant on his brother, accompanied by their cowherd boyfriends. They entered the arena. When Krishna entered the wrestling arena with Balram, their friends, he appeared differently to different people according to their different relationship, rasas with him. Krishna is the reservoir of all pleasure and all kind of rasas, both favorable and unfavorable. He appeared to the wrestlers exactly like a thunderbolt. To the people in general, he appeared as the most beautiful personality. To the females, he appeared to be the most attractive male, Cupid personified, and thus he increased their lust. The cowherd men who were present there looked upon Krishna as their own kinsman, coming from the same village of Vrindavan. The impious Kshatriya kings who were present saw him as the strongest ruler and their chastiser. To the parents of Krishna, Nanda and Yashoda, he appeared to be the most loving child. To Kamsa, the king of Bhoja dynasty, he appeared to be death personified. To the unintelligent, he appeared to be an incapable personality. To the yogis present, he appeared to be the super soul. To the members of the Vrishni dynasty, he appeared to be the most celebrated descendant, thus appreciated differently by different kinds of people present. Krishna entered the wrestling arena with Balram, with its cowherd boyfriends. Having heard that Krishna had already killed the elephant Kuvalayapita, Kamsa knew beyond doubt that Krishna was formidable. He thus became very much afraid of him. Krishna and Balram had long arms. They were beautifully dressed, and they were attractive to all the people assembled there. They were dressed as if they were going to act on a dramatic stage, and they drew the attention of the people. The famous wrestlers, moving forward a little bit, the famous wrestlers Chanura then began to talk with Krishna and Balram. My dear Krishna and Balram, he said, we have heard about your past activities. You are great heroes, and therefore the king has called you. We have heard that your arms are very strong. The king and all the people present here desire to see a display of your wrestling abilities. A citizen should be obedient and please be mind of the ruling king. Acting in that way, the citizen attain all kind of good fortune. One who doesn't care to act obediently is made unhappy because of the king's anger. You are cowherd boys, and we have heard that while tending your cows in the forest, you enjoy wrestling with each other. We wish, however, for you to join with us in wrestling so that all the people present here, including the king, will be pleased. Krishna immediately understood the purpose of Chanura's statements and he prepared to wrestle with him, but according to the time and circumstances, he spoke as follows: You are the subject of the king of Bhojas, and you live in the jungle. We are also indirectly his subjects, and we try to please him as far as possible. This offer of wrestling is a great favor of his, but the fact is that we are simply boys. We sometimes play in the forest of Vrindavan with our friends who are our own age. We think that the combat person of equal age and strength is good for us, but to fight great wrestlers like you would not be good for the audience. It would be contradict the religious principles. Krishna thus indicated that the celebrated strong wrestler should not challenge Krishna and Balram to fight. In reply to this, Chanura said, My dear Krishna, we can understand very well that you are neither a child nor a young man. You are transcendental to everyone, as is your big brother Balram. You have already killed the elephant Kuvalayapita, who was capable of fighting thousands of other elephants. You have killed him in a wonderful way because of your strength. It behooves you to compete with the strongest wrestlers among us. I therefore wish to wrestle with you, and your elder brother Balram would wrestle with Mustika. Thus end the Bhakti Vedanta purport of the 43rd chapter of Krishna, the killing of the elephant Kuvalayapita. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namo Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupakadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Utapatakabalam Sri Guru Vaishnavamscha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatham Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Padan Sagana Lalita Sri Vishaka Vitamscha हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीनबंधु जगतपते गोपेश गोपिका कंत राधा कंत नमस्तुते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छकल्पतरुश्च कृपा सिन्धुवैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमो जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवास आदि गौर भक्त वृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे नीलाचल निवास नित्याय परमात्मने Balabhadra Subhadrabhya Jagannatha Idharma. Thank you so much for joining this wonderful Sangha. And today, what a powerful chapter where Krishna, on the onset of his journey along with Balram to Kamsa's place of arena, is is made to fight with a beast. You know, some of you may have seen the Gladiator movie. If you haven't, it was the Roman way wherein a person who is the gladiator needs to fight the beast, fight the big wrestlers. And Krishna, being the supreme personality of Godhead, has to go through all the yardsticks before meeting the final goal, that is Kamsa. Kamsa was the enemy, he was the king of Voja dynasty, and Krishna was one of the descendants of Vrishni dynasty. And the intent here is Srila Prabhupada is taking us, transporting us live to Mathura, where as Krishna is making his entrance, step by step, 43 is nothing but Srimad Bhagavatam 10.43 for you. And there, Vyasadev has beautifully explained, and Sukadev Goswami is beautifully reading all these things which Srila Prabhupada has presented to us in such a narrative novel manner, in which case you can sit back, relax, and hear how Krishna, using no weapons, no Sudarshan Chakra, no weapon, just by slapping, just by dragging, he could kill such beasts who have the powers of thousands of elephants by themselves. So as you know, elephants have a very passionate mentality. Elephants, our Acharyas mentions that elephants, after they take shower, they come and through their trunk, they take dust and sprinkle on them. The elephants epitomizes a beast mentality, the mentality many human beings in this world have, wherein they would do eating, mating, sleeping, and defending. So when a beast is becomes more beastly, wherein they would uh, get enamored by many beasts of the opposite sex, and they create a, a consciousness which is unthinkable for devotees. And this is where this topic of Krishna fighting the beast is very important for us to understand that beasts have a different consciousness, and how these beasts are applied by another demoniac personality like Kamsa to protect or prevent Krishna from approaching him. If Kamsa would have been a true warrior, he would have welcomed Krishna right from the beginning and he would have had a fight. But these kind of people, Kamsas, who live within us, have this mentality of cowardice attitude, where they would get shivers, and the characters of a supreme personality of Godhead who is on the side of the truth is always trying to go against the waves and fight where it's very unfavorable. Think about a cricket match you might see. Whenever a home team goes to a away team, the away team uh, plays in their home ground, it's unfavorable for the home team to go and play in a different ground because the conditions are different. And it's only so when India travels to Australia, for example, for cricket, the Australians have an upper hand. But look at Krishna here. Krishna doesn't invite Kamsa because Kamsa had so many demoniac personalities like Putana, Pralambasur, Dhenukasur, all kind of demons to Vrindavan, that they created mayhem in Vrindavan. So Krishna chose to fight the enemy in its own backyard. This is the heroic personality we all should learn from. A person where he goes outside his comfort zone to fight. Srila Prabhupada could have preached in India, but Srila Prabhupada chose a new outfield. He chose a new ground. He came to United States, formed ISKCON, came to United States in 1965, formed ISKCON in 1966 when Jagannath, Baladev, Subhadramai, and Gaur Nitai were installed in our temple. We were celebrating the 50th anniversary of ISKCON, and he chose a different ground. This is the hallmark of heroic personalities. But so how we should learn this chapter is when Krishna goes out to fight, he goes out to fight from his comfort zone, which we all as sadhakas should recognize that chanting is difficult. Doing regulation can be difficult. But if we go out of our comfort level, we can achieve success in our sadhana. And that is why Krishna consciousness is a very simple process, but it's not easy. You have to maintain it day in and day out. And Krishna has taken so much difficulties to kill Kamsa. He was every step of the way he was challenged. And this chapter he's challenged by a beast. And how he's challenging the beast? Not with some weapon which the beast doesn't possess. So he wants to fight on equal terms. And that's where what he is doing. He's basically dragging the elephant. He's giving a slap to the elephant. And he's taking the tusk out of the elephant. So when there is a call out or a challenge for chivalry, whenever there is a fight, in the winning position, you have to take something as a mark of memento once you defeat the enemy. So here Krishna Balram taking the two tusks out of the Kuvalayapita. When they are walking out, they're looking dangerous for a person who is enemic to Krishna. But that chivalry is appearing, as Srila Prabhupada mentioned so beautifully, for young women, he is the hero. Here, the females, he appeared to be most attractive male, Cupid personified, and thus increase their lust. So, and for Balram and Krishna, they evoke different rasas the way they see him. There is, when the wrestlers see him, they see him like a thunderbolt, as Srila Prabhupada is writing. To people in general, Akarshayati Krishna, he is appearing as all attractive, Akarshayati, he attracts everybody. So he is appearing as more beautiful. For ladies, for Matajis, he is appearing as Cupid personified. For cowherd men who are present, looking Krishna as their own kingsman from the same village of Vrindavan. The kings who envy, he appears as the greatest chastiser, because Krishna would go out of the way to instill fear in those people who, the kings, who are always trying to oppose Krishna. And for yogis, he's appearing as the super soul in our heart. And for the members of Vrishni dynasty, he appears to be most celeb. So Krishna chooses to reveal himself the way a person wants Krishna to be revealed. And there are some beautiful examples from Jagannath Puri, Mayapur, which and some of the um, pillars in our temple resembles that story. I just wanted to mention that there was a low caste person. His name is Dasya, and if you go to one of our pillars in our temple, you see Lord Jagannath. He doesn't have hands, but he's stretching his hands to take coconut from a low caste Dasya who is in a very low caste, and he is not allowed to take. On the day of Rath Yatra, everybody is accessible to Lord Jagannath, and Krishna, who is none other than Jagannath, takes coconut from Dasya because for him, for Dasya, Lord Krishna is accessible everywhere. For him, Krishna is so attractive that he can unshackle his form and extend his hand and take the coconut from the hand of a greatest devotee called Dasya. And that pillar you would see in our temple. It's imprinted, beautifully inscribed in wooden artwork. And Krishna choose to reveal himself. However, Prahlad Maharaj was terrified by his father Hiranyakasipu. But Hiranyakasipu had so much of deals going on that there was not a single deal which was possible. Lord can come, Krishna can come in any form or shape. He shouldn't be a person, he should not be a beast. So Lord had to come half man, half beast. So Lord can choose to reveal himself. And when Krishna and Balaram are holding those tusks after killing this beastly personality, Kuvalayapita, they are appearing like heroes. You might have seen in many movies. Actually, they are superheroes in that sense. The movies stars are nothing in comparison to the supreme. Sometimes the pastimes of Lord Krishna is so unique. You might not have seen someone dancing on the hood of a snake to calm him down, which is unthinkable in movies. They can lift a lot of things and catch things in air, but you have never heard of a personality from the movie industry where this person is dancing on the hood of an serpent to calm him down, because the supreme personality of Godhead has unique ways to reveal, and he has a multifaceted way to reveal himself. And finally, The third segment within this beautiful chapter, first segment being Krishna can take care of the beastly obstacle like a beast. For a beast, Krishna becomes a beast, wherein he could, where Srila Prabhupada mentions, for some people Krishna appears as thunderbolt because he is like a hero. He's jamming through the space and dragging through the tail of Kuvalayapita and giving a slap and taking the tusk out. You know, he has he is so powerful that he can take 100 beasts and he can just toss them just like that. Balram, Bala is all powerful. Balram is so powerful. Balram is the personality, the first expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. He will twirl and just by sheer twirling they could get killed. Balram is so powerful. Sometimes Krishna wants to watch Balram's prowess and he would let Balram take over. Sometimes Balram, and when Balram gets, after this uh, episode where he would kill somebody, Balram would kill somebody, Krishna would go and massage his elder brother's feet. So Balram, in that sense, has experienced some of the top rasas, by being along with Krishna, being an elder brother to Krishna, and that's why Balram, our acharyas mentions, Balram is no different from Krishna. Just the difference is in the color, and they are absolutely the one and the same. So the first piece of this beautiful chapter is how not to be a beast in our life, how we could lead a life wherein we don't rely on eating, mating, sleeping, defending, and we deal with things which a true devotee or a true human being should deal his life. So there is that reference. And then Krishna gives darshan the way devotees want. So whenever we go to temple, we think we are seeing the Lord. Yesterday, many of you saw Mother Srimati Radharani, but by virtue of our devotional service, we can have Srimati Radharani and the Lordship see you. And that is exactly what Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur says. Don't go to temple with the intent to have darshan of the Lord. Do service in such a way that you have the face to show to the Lord, and Lord can see you so beautifully mentioned in this beautiful chapter. Depending on how people uh, take Krishna, Krishna reciprocates in the same way. And finally, the two wrestlers, Charuna and Mustika, they are beasts by themselves. They are some of the top wrestlers, and Kangsa, after recognizing that it was all pre-planned, as you heard, it was all pre-planned by Kangsa to trouble uh, to trouble uh, Krishna, so that Krishna can't reach Kamsa, and in the final thing. So now Krishna, recognizing that Chanuna and Mustika may be killed, he is hesitating to fight with him. But finally, as the last paragraph suggests, that as they're asking for it, Mother Putana asked, had a bad desire, had smeared poison on her breasts. But Krishna was so merciful that she came with a desire to to as a mother to feed me. So as a mother, Krishna liberated Putana. Likewise, seeing how Ramji was shooting at Ravana as total heroism personified, Ramji, so here Krishna walked 30 kilometers. If you have gone to Mathura and Vrindavan, you would know it's a matter of 30, 40 kilometers apart. But Ramji went all the way from Ayodhya to Sri Lanka, building a bridge. And when Ramji was shooting arrows, was fighting, many people were just stunned, were appreciative of how Ramji is shooting. So much of skills, so much of power. Jambavan, seeing Ramji, Jambavan is the bear king, you all know. Seeing Ramji, got stunned. Jambavan is a very powerful person. He had an internal desire. He had a very internal desire. Lord, someday I would like to fight with you. Please accept my choice. Please fight with me once. I beg to fight with you once. And in the next yuga, when Ramji became Krishna, and Jambavan, bears, they live long, you know that. In, the missing ring, and I don't want to get there. There's a cave in which Krishna had to fight Jambavan, and Jambavan had forgotten who he's fighting. And this fighting went for days. And then Jambavan recognized that this person is not any ordinary person in Dwapara Yuga. Finally, when blood started coming from the cave where Jambavan is fighting Krishna, Jambavan recognized, you must be my Sri Ram, who I wanted to fight. And both Krishna and Jambavan over the yugas embraced. Krishna took the daughter of Jambavan, Jambavati, as his good wife. So, however you desire the Lord, Lord will reciprocate. And Chanura and Mustika was sent by Krishna, sent by Kamsa, but their own desire is, as a meticulous wrestler, I have to fight the right chivalrous person. And Krishna fulfilled that idea by fighting with him. And sooner you'd see they are getting killed, and Kamsa is getting killed. So the people of the same skills can appreciate the same skill. Sometimes Krishna would come up with some beautiful logic, and people who are very good in logic, rationalization, understanding, theory, they would recognize, can I have an opportunity to interact as a knowledgeable person? People who want to fight, can I involve myself as a fighter with the Supreme Personality of Godhead? And sometimes Krishna is so beautiful, people want to associate with Krishna as a friend, as a boyfriend, and so on and so forth. It is absolutely natural. That's the reason why our process is personalized. We are not impersonalist. Look at these qualities of a person, how varied it is. He's chivalrous, he's beautiful, he's killing a beast, he is not using his weapon. Isn't it heroic in a way? And likewise, the impersonalist would say, every single person in our life you meet in the temple or in job has a personality of its own. But our impersonalist friends would say that God, who is Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is showing so much of characteristics you hear, is not a person. He doesn't have any personal traits. No, see, the Shunyavadis are impossible because small kids have a personality of their own, and they say Lord doesn't have a personality of himself. It's unthinkable when you think about it. So, just to summarize, the Krishna can be a beast if the beast wants to fight for the wrong reasons. And Krishna can be the greatest wrestler. And with that chivalry, Krishna would appear like a superhero, which is unthinkable. And he gives access to himself the way we want. And and the time, circumstances can be of anyone's. The place can be of anyone's. But wherever Lord is, the winning or the victory has to be in that side. There is no question about it. So take a moment to put Lord in your side, and let's immerse ourselves with such beautiful personalized qualities. And we have nothing to fear, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is Bhagavan himself, when Krishna says, it doesn't say Sham Sundar Ubacha, it says Bhagavan Ubacha in Bhagavad Gita. So we very much know who the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and just listening, immersing, smaranam, mananam of these qualities would make us very accessible for us, and we have nothing to fear, because our Supreme Personality of Godhead, who we epitomize, who we devote our time towards, who we aspire to love, is the greatest personality, and we have nothing to fear in this, because there are so many books, so many scriptures, so many Vedas who have uh, spoken about the glories of the Lord. So, like to end here. You have heard some beautiful subject matter in the past. So, like to end here. Thank you so much for your kind attention. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna. Any question or comments? Any thought process? Any reflections? Please speak.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Nice satsang, and we heard the Krishna's Leela. It's a beautiful story to listen all the time, and we enjoyed that. I have a question of morning session. Can I ask the question from the morning session? What you
Yes,
did?
Mataji. Yes, Mataji.
Okay, I wanted to find out when Sukdev Swami, when telling the Parikshit Maharaj Srimad Bhagavatam, how old he was that time?
Yes, very nice question, Mataji. So today morning, for those who did not attend, we discussed 3.31.21, which is essentially Kapila Dev, Kapil Dev, who is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is the son of Devahuti and Kardama Muni. Supreme Personality of Godhead, Kapila Dev, is speaking to his mother about the situation of child in the womb of his mother. And there we discussed how Sukadev Goswami stayed in the mother's womb for 16 years, not 9 months. So the Mataji's question is, and then he went on to speak Srimad Bhagavatam to Parikshit Maharaj. So my understanding, Mataji, is he was a young boy. He was 16 years old when he spoke Srimad Bhagavatam. And I may be a little wrong, but my memory says he was 16 years old, and he was not, he was untouched by the Maya or the miseries. So you might have seen that beautiful picture where he is, speaking. He is bare and he is seated, and Parikshit Maharaj is sitting in front of him, and he was 16 years old. He was very young, actually, to tell you the truth. And then, and if that number is different, I'll always message you. But my understanding is he was 16 years old when he uttered, or rather spoke, Srimad Bhagavatam, which was written by his father, Vyasadeva. Okay, Mataji?
So when you think logically, he stayed 16 years in the womb. How does that happen? Because the growth and everything
Yeah,
is sometimes you cannot believe it, but it happened. It's Srimad Bhagavat says, so we have to believe it. But how does that logically doesn't put
yeah.
in
So
my mind?
Mataji, right. So Mataji, at that time, right, we're talking about thousands and millions of years ago. At that time, the control of individuals were very strong. Devotees uh, can can light a fire in the mind. They don't need. Sometimes they will take two woods and light a fire, but the mind was so pure. Everything was so pure. The spiritual consciousness was so pure. So the point today morning we discussed, Mataji, that Sukadev Goswami, who came because mother of Sukadev Goswami, who is the wife of Vyasadeva, was yawning, and the parrot came in from Lord Shiva and Parvati. Long story short, so he didn't want to get exposed to Maya. So the determination of individual in the mother's womb was so strong that he didn't want to be exposed to the illusory energy of the Lord. Because you might have seen, the four Kumaras. The four Kumaras were with a little cloth. They wanted to stay as young all their life, so that if they become old, they may get entangled in the material energy of the Lord. So they wanted to keep themselves as a brahmacharis all their lives. They didn't grow up. So likewise, like the four Kumaras never grew, they never became man. In that sense, they're still, doing their leelas. Likewise, uh, and they are the avatars of the Lord. Of the 26 avatars, the four Kumaras uh, are also there. Likewise, Sukadev Goswami was a very powerful personality. He did not want to be entangled in the material energy of the Lord, of the Maya Devi. So he didn't want to come out of the mother's womb. And when he was assured by his father that, please come out, I will make sure that you do not get entangled by the Maya, then so we have to think outside the biological angle, because the a lot of things our doctors friends cannot substantiate, and most of the time our doctor profession is based on experimentation and application of certain thing in terms of the response. Sometimes there are very strong personalities where the response system is different, and that is where we have to recognize that uh, Shukadev Goswami stayed, was so focused in not coming to this material world, that he stayed for 16 years before coming out, because he was very strong in its mind. Is that okay, Mataji?
Yes.
Thank you, Mataji. Any other questions, comments?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji. Dandat Pranam. All
Dandavad
best.
Pranam, all glories to Srila Prabhupada. Prabhuji, thank you for the wonderful class. Had one question. When you were mentioning about comfort zone, like you said, you mentioned about Prabhupada coming out into a new place and all that. So, Prabhuji, practically for neophytes like us, or me at least, who don't have that level of preaching or whatever, what is our comfort zone, and how can we step out of comfort zone in Krishna consciousness?
Yeah, very nice practical question. So, what I was hearing from SB Keshav Swami Maharaj last week in the temple, he was mentioning that Krishna consciousness is a science. So we have a hypothesis, and we have to apply that hypothesis on an experiment, and then there is a result. So what he was saying is, until we do something means coming out of the comfort zone is one example, or do something, chant, do some devotional service, we won't see the result. So if we are in a modern world, and our modern world dictates that we are scientific in our spirit, in our mentality, and unless we try it by waking up early, what I have realized, getting up can be a very challenge. But once or twice, when I have some time, I have taken the difficulty of getting out of the comfort of a comforter and going to the temple at 4:15, 4:30, which is very less for me, but there are some very amazing personalities in our temple who go every day. But on that day, when I get myself out of the comfort zone and go to Mangalarti, what I find is whatever I do in the Brahma Muhurta, which like 4:30 to 6:30, the outcome is multifaceted. If I end up spending X to get Y, I would end up spending less than X to get Y in those times. So the comfort zone is is a mentality thing. We all are capable of chanting 16 rounds. We all are capable of doing little here, little there. We are not really leaving our family to go to Himalayas. So, but what we do is we, in general, uh, Kali Yuga has one or two, well, there are many wrong facets, but one or two things is we all have this, we all are very lazy, and that includes me as well. And also we have a cheating propensity, as it is mentioned, that sometimes we would give an option when we don't have any cars, 10 miles in the front or back, we tend to drive faster because nobody's watching. So in our sense, if we are determined in our ability to do this little service or little commitment we have done to our guru, and we do that coming out of the comfort zone, we all can do it, but actually we do not want to do it. I'll just give an example. It's not as if Duryodhan did not know that what he's doing is wrong. He knew very much. It's not as if he didn't know that, to violate Mother Draupadi or some, taking all the property out of Pandava is wrong. He very much knew this, but he just wouldn't do it because his ahankar would stop him. His comfort zone, so-called comfort zone, chalta hai attitude would stop him. And he was a very heinous person in that sense. That's a different story. So the fact remains that uh, it will be difficult. It's not easy when you start chanting. Some people get yawning. Some people want to complete it soon, but if you are try a little bit, get out of the comfort zone, recognizing that it's your personal relationship. Sometimes what happens is if your kid is needs a pickup who is like 100 miles away and it's a weekend, you do every step of the way to go 100 miles, pick him or her up. But we don't have the taste for chanting because we do not have the courage to get out of the comfort zone, and our tastes have. So we have to build that taste. Once the taste arrives, once we have the higher taste, which Srila Prabhupada keeps on saying, then getting out of the comfort zone is not a problem. So I would say, Mataji, that we have to build this taste of chanting the holy name or going to the temple regularly or doing some devotional service. Once we build that, it will become easy. So we are not anything out of the comfort zone. It's just the initial hiccup. And once we overcome it, we are good. Is that okay, Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji. So in fact, we have to expand that comfort zone and keep steady.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yes, Prabhuji. That was very good. Yes. Thank you.
Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Any other comments from anyone? So, as you can see, Srila Prabhupada has it's as if he's giving a live commentary of a cricket match. Like it's a live commentary of how Krishna is approaching the elephant and how he is, killing him, and Chanuram and Mustik, how they are chastising Krishna to welcoming him for a fight. So this because of Srila Prabhupada, we are very fortunate that we are able to see this in the eyes of a very exalted Acharya. And when he is presenting Krishna consciousness, it makes us feel that it's real, it's personalized, and it's for all of us. So, any final comments before we end? If there is none, so let's end here by having a lot of gratitude for Srila Prabhupada, because by translating this book into English, he has made this content accessible to be translated to other languages. Just by sheer translating from Sanskrit Srimad Bhagavatam to English, and that English becoming the starting translation point for French, German, and other languages, because you don't need people to learn Sanskrit to translate to German. He made it accessible, and because of that, a lot of people around the world are relishing the taste of Srimad Bhagavatam and the Vedic commentary. And whenever we think about living here, a lot of people do not know how to read Sanskrit. Because of the transliteration, we are able to read Sanskrit in English. Likewise, our kids are getting an opportunity. So whenever we read these books, let's have a sense of gratitude that it's not easy to translate so many books, and making these books accessible to 100+ languages around the world through the BBT publications. And that is such a great outcome Srila Prabhupada gave to us. So with a lot of gratitude, let's end here by offering prayers at the lotus feet of all Vaishnavas by saying Vancha Kalpa Taruvascha Kripa Sindhu Vaivacha Patitanam Pavanevyo Vaishnavevyo Namo Vaishnava Vrinda ki Jai, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai, Srimad Bhagavatam Mahapuran ki Jai, Krishna book ki Jai, Gaur Premanand.
হরি হরি বলো। বাঞ্ছাকল্পতরুভ্যশ্চ কৃপাসিন্ধুভ্যশ্চ পতিতানাং পাবনেভ্যো বৈষ্ণবেভ্যো নমো। অনন্ত বৈষ্ণব মাতা। হরি হরি বল।